You are born not into silence, but into the roar of the wind. It howls through the cracks of the wooden walls, as if it already knows your life will not be a peaceful one. The house stands at the edge of a cold fjord, where the water is dark, almost black, and it feels as though something ancient lives within it. Your mother holds you tightly, wrapped in wool, while your father watches for a long time in silence, judging, as if you are not a child, but a future warrior, who must be tested before he can even stand. You grow quickly. Everyone grows quickly here. Childhood is not a time for games. It is a time to get used to cold, hunger, and fear. You learn to walk on slippery stones before you can speak. Learn to hold a knife before you understand why you need it. Your hands crack from wind and salt, and you barely notice. Pain becomes something ordinary, like breathing. Your father rarely speaks, but when he does, you listen. He shows you how to hold an axe. At first it feels too heavy, the handle slipping from your fingers, the blade pulling downward. You fall again and again. He doesn't help. He only watches. There is no cruelty in his gaze, only expectation. You get up. You always get up. And one day, you don't fall. He notices that moment. Nods. That's all you get. But it's enough. You begin to understand. Here, respect is not given with words. Winter comes early. It always comes early. Snow covers the land as if the world dies and falls asleep, but you know, it's a lie. Life here doesn't stop. It becomes harsher. Food runs out faster than you'd like. People grow quieter. Every day is a struggle. Even if you're not holding a weapon, you sit by the fire, listening to the elders. They tell stories of gods, of great battles, of warriors whose names live longer than their bodies. You hear about distant lands, where the sun burns brighter, where gold lies in temples, where people are weaker and unprepared for what comes from the sea. You don't understand everything, but you feel the most important thing. Your life will not be confined to this fjord. In spring, the ice cracks, and with it, something inside you cracks too. You watch the men prepare the ship, long, narrow, with a carved beast's head at the prow. They repair the boards, stretch the sail, check their weapons. The air fills with anticipation. You step closer. Your father notices you, watches for a long time, then says, "Soon." It's not a promise. It's a sentence. You begin to train harder. Every morning, before the sun, every evening, until your hands tremble. You learn not only to strike, but to endure. Pain, exhaustion, cold, all of it must become part of you. If you refuse, you die. It's simple. One day they take you into the forest, not for a walk, a hunt. They give you a spear, a real one, not a training one. You feel its weight differently. It carries meaning. You walk for a long time in silence. Snow crunches beneath your feet. Your breathing sounds too loud, and you try to quiet it. Then you see the beast, a stag, large, strong. Your heart starts pounding. Your hands tighten on the shaft. You wait for a signal, but there is none. Your father simply watches you. You understand? This is your moment. You take a step, then another. The beast lifts its head. Your eyes meet. In that instant, everything freezes. No wind, no sound, nothing. Only you and it. You throw the spear. It doesn't fly perfectly, but it's enough. The beast falls. You stand still, not moving, until you realize you did it. Alone. For the first time. Your father walks over, looks at the animal, then at you, and nods again. From that day on, you are no longer a child. Summer brings movement. The ship is ready. You stand among the men. You are younger, weaker, inexperienced, but you are here. No one says you are ready, but no one sends you away. And that means you must prove you deserve to stay. You set sail at dawn. The water is calm, but inside you is a storm. Fear and excitement twist together so tightly you can't separate them. You watch the shore slowly disappear and understand there is no way back now. Days at sea teach you quickly. You learn to row even when your arms refuse. Learn to sleep despite the cold and the rocking. Learn to eat little and not complain. Learn to face fear and not show it. The storm comes suddenly. The sky darkens. The wind rises. Waves tower like walls. The ship creaks like a living thing about to break. You cling to the side, feeling the water strike your face. Someone shouts. Someone prays. You remain silent. You remember how you fell with the axe, how you stood up, and you understand. This is the same. Only now the stakes are higher. You do not fall. When the storm passes, you are no longer the same, not stronger, but harder. And one day, land appears on the horizon. Not yours, foreign, silent. You approach at night. The oars move slowly, without sound. No one speaks. Everyone knows what comes next. You feel your heart beating in your chest. It's not fear, it's anticipation. The ship touches the shore. You jump into the cold water, run forward with the others, a weapon in your hands, emptiness in your mind. The first screams tear through the silence. You enter the village, and in that moment, your life truly begins. You burst into the village with the others, and in that moment, the world stops being the same. There is no more wind, no sea, no thoughts of home. There is only sound, screams, cracking wood, dull impacts, heavy breathing. Everything blends into one continuous roar that seems to pass through you. You run forward. Your legs carry you on their own, even as your mind struggles to catch up with what's happening. The weapon in your hands feels lighter than ever before. Not because it has become lighter, but because you no longer think about its weight. A man appears in front of you. Not a warrior, just a man. His eyes are wide open. He doesn't understand what is happening. He holds nothing in his hands. He steps back, stumbles, falls. You freeze for a fraction of a second. And that second is enough to understand. If you stop now, you won't be able to move again. One of your own rushes past you and finishes what you did not. You remain standing. Your heart beats so hard it feels like it will tear your chest apart. You look around and understand. There is no place here for doubt. There are no right or wrong decisions. There is only survival and strength. Another runs toward you, this time with a weapon. He shouts, swings. Everything happens faster than you can think. You raise your axe almost instinctively. A strike, a dull sound. Your hands tremble. He falls. You stand over him. Now you understand. This is not like hunting. This is not like training. This is something else. Something that cannot be forgotten. You did it. And there is no way back now. After that, everything becomes simpler. Not easier. Simpler. You stop thinking before striking. Your movements become faster, more precise. You no longer look into eyes. You look at hands, at weapons, at motion. You learn to read a fight the same way you once learned to read tracks in the snow. Fire begins to spread through the village. Someone sets the houses ablaze. Flames rise into the sky, lighting up the night. Now everything is visible. Too visible. You see fear. You see rage. You see how people become different when they have nothing left to lose. You become different too. When it's over, you don't realize it right away. At some point, it simply grows quieter. The screams fade. Only the crackling of fire remains and the heavy breathing of those who survived. You stand in the middle of it. Your hands are covered in blood. Your clothes are wet. Your mind is empty. Your father approaches you. He looks at you for a long time. There is no pride in his eyes, no judgment, only understanding. Now you know, he says. You nod. Yes, now you know. You return to the ship. The spoils are loaded. People talk, laugh, divide the loot. Someone is already turning this battle into a story to be told later by the fire. You stay silent. You sit at the edge of the ship and look at the water. It is calm again, as if nothing happened. As if it did not see how you came and what you did. You lower your hands into the water. The blood washes off quickly. Too quickly. The journey home is long. But now it feels different. You are no longer the one who sailed away. You look at the others and realize you have become closer to them. You went through what they went through. Now you are one of them. But something inside has changed. You begin to notice things you hadn't before. The way people look at each other, how some laugh too loudly, how others stay silent, just like you. You understand. Not everyone goes through this the same way. When you return home, you are greeted like heroes. Women come out to meet you. Children run along the shore. The elders nod in approval. Stories are already being born, even before they are told. You stand among it all, but feel slightly apart. Your mother embraces you tightly, too tightly. She asks nothing, only looks into your eyes, as if trying to find the person you used to be. But you are no longer that person. At night, you cannot sleep. You close your eyes and see everything again. Not fully, in fragments. Faces, movements, sounds. You rise and step outside. Cold air hits your face. You breathe deeply. It is quiet here. It is safe here. But inside, it is not. Days pass. You return to training, to work, to ordinary life. But now everything feels smaller, slower, weaker. You know that out there, beyond the sea, there is another world, and it pulls you back. Your father notices. You want to go again? He says one day. It is not a question. You nod. He is silent for a long time. Then he says, next time will be harder. You understand. The first battle is only the beginning. Now you will be tested for real. The next summer comes faster than you expect. And this time, you are not standing aside. You prepare with the others. Check your weapons. Help with the ship. You already know what to do. No one explains anything, and that is the sign. You are no longer a student, you are a warrior. But with that comes something else. Responsibility. You begin to notice the younger ones, just like you once were. Their looks, their movements, their fear, which they try to hide. And suddenly you realize, now you are for them what your father was for you. The feeling is heavy, but right. The ship sails out again, and this time, you feel no fear. Only a cold, clear readiness. You look forward, and you know. This is only the beginning of your path. The true life of a Viking still lies ahead. The sea accepts you again. Now its shum no longer feels chajim, the creaking of boards beneath your feet, the heavy rhythm of the oars, the cold wind cutting across your face. All of it has become a part of you, like breathing. You are no longer a newcomer on the ship. You sit among warriors, and no one looks at you like a boy anymore. Now you are one of them. The days at sea are long. Sometimes the sea is calm, and the ship glides across the water as if over glass. Sometimes it grows angry, raising waves, testing your strength. But now you are not afraid of storms. You know, if the ship endures, so will you. At night, you sit by a small fire on shore when you manage to land. The men tell stories of past battles, of distant cities, of gold that weighs more than a sword, of enemies who shout in unfamiliar tongues. You listen, but no longer as a child. Now you understand the price of every story. Each of them is paid for in blood. One day you approach a great shore. It is nothing like the small villages you have seen before. Here stands a real city. High walls, towers, stone instead of wood. You feel the tension run through the ship. This is not a simple raid. This is a battle. The ships draw closer to the shore. There are several of them. Dozens of warriors prepare at once. You check your axe, run your fingers along its blade. It is sharp. Your father stands beside you, but now he looks at you differently, not as a son, as a warrior who must decide his own fate. Stay close to the shield, he says. You nod. When the ship touches land, everything happens quickly. You jump into the water. Run forward. Ahead of you stand men in armor. Their shields gleam. Their formation is tight. These are not peasants, these are warriors. You collide with them like two waves. Impact. Shields crash. Metal strikes metal. Shouts, growls, heavy breathing. You feel a shove in your shoulder as the shields lock. Someone beside you falls. Someone screams. You raise your axe and strike. Once, then again. Now everything happens faster than thought. You move with the formation. Step forward. Strike. Step back. Your shield rises on its own, protecting you from an enemy blade. You feel adrenaline flow through your body like fire. At some point, the formation breaks, and then chaos begins. Now it is no longer a wall of shields. It is separate fights, each against each. You see a tall warrior before you. His sword is longer than your axe. He attacks quickly. You barely manage to raise your shield. The blow travels through your arm so hard your fingers almost give way. He swings again, but this time you are faster. You step aside and strike upward. Your axe finds its mark. He falls. You stand over him, breathing heavily. Around you, the battle continues. But you already know, you endured. When it is over, the city burns. Smoke rises into the sky, blending with the clouds. People gather spoils, bind wounds, check on one another. You find your father. He sits by a wall, breathing heavily, blood on his shoulder, but he smiles. You fought well, he says. These are the most important words you have ever heard. Years pass. Raids follow raids. You see new lands, rivers, cities, monasteries, fortresses. You become stronger, faster, wiser. People begin to listen to you, at first in small things, then more often. One day during a battle, the man beside you falls. The formation begins to break. Panic spreads through the line. You shout a command, and they listen. They gather around you, raise their shields, hold the line. The enemy retreats. After the battle, someone pats your shoulder. You lead like a jarl. You say nothing, but inside you understand. The time is changing. Your father grows old. It happens quietly. His hands are still strong, but his movements are no longer as quick. His hair turns gray. He sits by the fire more often than he stands in formation. One evening, he calls you. You sit by the shore. The sea is calm. When I was young, he says, I thought strength was everything. He looks at the water. But strength fades. You remain silent. What matters is the name that remains after you. He places a hand on your shoulder. Now it is your turn. On the next voyage, he does not go, and the ship sails without him. Now you stand at the front. You look at the men around you, some older than you, some younger, but they wait for your decision, and you understand. This is the moment you feared, and the one you were waiting for. You raise your hand. Forward. The ship sails out to sea. Years continue to pass. You become the one whose stories are told by the fire. Your name is known in many lands. Some fear it, some respect it. But one day a battle comes that is different from the others. Not because of the enemies, because of you. You are no longer young. Your shoulders ache after long journeys. Wounds that once healed quickly now linger. But you still go first. The battle begins as usual. Shields collide. Swords ring. Men shout. But at some moment, you feel the Uda. A heavy blow. Too heavy. You fall to one knee. The world grows quieter. You still hear the battle, but it feels distant. You lift your head and see the sky. Gray. Cold. The same as on the day you were born. You remember the fjord, the home, the fire in the longhouse, your father's voice, your mother's face. You remember the sea, and you understand. You lived exactly the life you were born for. Someone lifts you. You hear a voice. He's still alive. But you already know this is the end of the path. You smile, because somewhere ahead, A new hall is already waiting for you, filled with warriors, where stories never end, and every battle is only the beginning. And you go there, like a Viking, the way you lived your entire life.